We played Hogwarts Legacy, and here are 5 practical tips that the game doesn't tell you, but that will make your playthrough much more enjoyable. Tip number 1. Focus on your main story quests, at least for the first part of the game, as long as they're not locked behind a spell or a level requirement. At least until you complete the quest called Jackdaw's Rest. At this point you will have unlocked your talent tree and also the quest for your broom. This will make any part of the world that you wish to explore further much easier to get to. Tip number 2 falls right into that as it involves your talent tree, but it's about spell management. Even if you only do your main quests up to the point when you unlock the talent tree, you will retroactively have accumulated at least a few points that you can spend right off the bat. Everyone has their own playstyle, but there are some early talent points that improve the quality of your life in this world of puzzles and abilities. Spell knowledge 1, 2, and depending on how many spells you want to have at hand, spell knowledge 3. These do not feel like fun talents to spend points on compared to others, but they will help you to begin to manage what spells you put where early on in the game, so you know exactly what buttons to press when things get heated. A bonus tip here is that unless you're a dog with 300 IQ plays,
he's a dog,
is that most combat playstyles doesn't require more than 8 spells. So if you for example put your most used combat spells in the left and right D-pad buttons, you don't have to flip between the other ones just to find the spell that you want to use, because they're always in the same place. Instead you can use the up D-pad button for situational spells and the down D-pad button for your pet maintenance. This makes it much easier to learn all your combos and you will be flipping goblins like it's nothing. Tip number 3. It feels a little bit like these tips are following each other, and it was not intentional, but I guess it just makes sense. Practice your spell combos and include your ancient magic charges. I won't go in depth with all the combos you can do because that will make an entire video. Just know that combos will help you in fights where you're fighting multiple enemies at once to make sure that you can crowd control and have higher damage output. Earlier on in the game, you will learn the basics from Luke and Batterby in the Clock Tower courtyard. But later on in the game, you will need to go to the hamlet of Feldcroft, a little bit east of the Flue Fire. There you will find these 4 dummies and they are perfect to practice your combos on. But when you're fighting real enemies, make sure to use your ancient magic charges in your rotation. Otherwise, you will just be waiting for the perfect moment that rarely comes and you end up not using your charges at all. Tip number 4. Just so that I don't spoil anything, I won't tell you when you get this, but at some point in the game, you will be able to make potting tables and potion stations, and depending on your playstyle, you will use these differently. What we did was to make a bunch of potting tables that you can plant Dittany seeds in, and then you can claim them every time you get back here. And then also make sure to make these T-shaped potion stations, so that you can make 3 sets of Wiggenweld potions at once. These are the healing potions in the game, and it never hurts to have a lot of healing potions. When you start brewing one of the potions in this station, you can easily switch over to the next cauldron with your D-pad and start creating a new one. When you're done with all 3, you can tab back to the first brew and it's almost ready to be claimed. Now you can start to brew a new potion and you can continue this cycle until you have enough potions or you run out of Dittany. The T-shaped potion stations you will have to buy from the Tomes and Scrolls shop in Hogsmeade for a whopping 2,000 galleons. But don't worry, you will make that money back quick if you follow our next tip. Tip number 5. Fantastic beasts and where to find them. And capture them and sell them to the highest bidder. If your conscience can bear it, this is probably one of the fastest way to make money in Hogwarts Legacy. At one point in the game, after completing the quest called the Elf, the Knapsack and the Loom, you will gain the ability to capture beasts in order to save them from poachers. The plot twist in this is that you can be the one selling the beasts to a shop in Hogsmeade called Bruden Peck. The way you do this is to lower the difficulty in the settings to story mode. By doing this, any puffskeins that you try to capture will be an automatic capture. So now you just have to fly around and find puffskein dens, grab as many puffskeins as you can, go back to Hogsmeade and sell them to Ellie Peck for 120 galleons each. All the beasts in the game sell for the same amount, so there's no point trying to capture a Graphorn in hopes that it will make you more money. Those are the 5 tips that we wish we knew when we started our journey through this game. If you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to leave a like down below and also comment what you would like to see next. Press the bell and the subscribe button to not miss anything, and we'll see you in the next one.